The day my sister Vanessa left her 3 children with me, she said it would be just for 1 hour. 1 hour. That was the lie she told me, the lie she told her kids, the lie she told herself as she walked out the door of my small apartment with a suitcase in her hand and a guilty look in her eyes. I was 23 years old, fresh out of college, working 2 jobs to make ends meet. I had no money, no space, no experience with children. But I was her sister, and she was desperate and I couldn't say no. "Just 1 hour, Clara," she had said, her voice trembling. "I just need to clear my head. I'll be back before you know it." I should have known better. I should have seen the signs. Vanessa had always been reckless, always been selfish, always been running from something. But she was my big sister and I loved her and I wanted to believe her. So I took the kids. 3 beautiful, terrified children. Ethan was 7 with his mother's dark eyes and a stubborn chin that reminded me of our father. Mia was 5, a shy, quiet girl who clung to my leg and refused to let go. And little Oliver, just 3 years old, with a mop of curly hair and a thumb permanently stuck in his mouth. They were scared. They were confused. They didn't understand why their mother was leaving them with their aunt, the aunt they barely knew. "Mommy will be back soon," I told them, my voice bright and cheerful, trying to hide my own fear. "She just needs to run an errand. You're going to have so much fun with me. We'll watch cartoons and eat ice cream and stay up late. Okay?" Ethan looked at me with eyes that were far too old for his age. "She's not coming back, is she?" he asked, his voice flat and resigned. I felt my heart break. "Of course she is," I said, forcing a smile. "She promised." But deep down, I knew. I knew she wasn't coming back. I knew she had left them with me because she couldn't handle them anymore, because she had found a new man or a new adventure or a new excuse to run away from her responsibilities. I knew she was gone. The first hour passed, then 2, then 3. The kids fell asleep on my couch, exhausted from crying, and I sat in the dark, staring at my phone, waiting for a call that never came. I called her phone over and over, but it went straight to voicemail. I called our mother, who lived across the country and hadn't spoken to Vanessa in years. I called Vanessa's friends, her ex-boyfriend, anyone who might know where she was. No one knew. No one had seen her. She had vanished. The first week was a nightmare. I had no idea what I was doing. I was a single woman with a tiny apartment and a meager income. I had no crib, no car seats, no toys, no clue how to take care of 3 children. I had to take time off work, and my boss, a kind man named Mr. Harrison, let me with a sympathetic nod and a promise that my job would be waiting for me when I was ready. I didn't know when that would be. I didn't know if it would ever be. I called social services, hoping they could help, but they told me that since I was family, the children would stay with me while they investigated. They assigned me a social worker, a stern woman named Mrs. Patterson, who visited my apartment once a week and asked me endless questions about my finances, my living situation, my ability to care for 3 children. I answered them as best I could, my voice shaking, my hands trembling, my heart pounding with fear. "I'm doing my best," I told her. "I just need some time. I just need to figure things out." She looked at me with pity, a look I would come to despise. "You're doing a good thing," she said, "but you need to understand what you're getting into. These children need stability. They need a permanent home. You need to decide if you can give them that." I looked at the children sleeping on my couch, their faces peaceful in sleep. Ethan had his arm around Mia and Mia had her hand on Oliver's back. They were all each other had, and now they had me. "I can do it," I said, my voice firm. "I can give them that." It wasn't easy. Nothing about raising 3 children was easy. I worked 2 jobs, sometimes 3, just to keep food on the table and a roof over our heads. I learned to cook cheap meals, to shop at thrift stores, to stretch every dollar until it screamed. I learned to soothe nightmares, to kiss scraped knees, to help with homework, to cheer at school plays. I learned to be a mother, even though I had never planned to be one. Ethan, Mia, and Oliver became my world. They were my reason for getting up in the morning, my reason for pushing through the exhaustion, my reason for never giving up. They called me Aunt Clara at first, but as the months turned into years, the aunt dropped away and I became simply Mom. It happened so gradually that I barely noticed it. One day, Ethan introduced me to his teacher as my mom, and I didn't correct him. I couldn't, because that's what I was. I was their mother in every way that mattered. The years passed in a blur of school plays and doctor's appointments, birthday parties and sleepless nights. I watched them grow, watched them thrive, watched them become the most incredible people I had ever known. Ethan became a brilliant student, a natural leader with a heart as big as his ambition. Mia became a gifted artist, her paintings filling our apartment with color and life. And Oliver, my sweet, sensitive Oliver, became a musician, his piano playing filling our home with beauty and hope. We were a family, a real family. We may not have had much money, but we had love. We had each other, and that was enough. I never stopped wondering about Vanessa. Sometimes late at night when the house was quiet and the children were asleep, I would think about her. Where was she? Was she alive? Did she ever think about the children she had abandoned? Did she ever regret it? I told myself I didn't care, that I had moved on, that I didn't need her. But the truth was, I did care. I cared more than I wanted to admit. She was my sister, and I loved her, and I hated her, and I missed her. And then, 12 years later, she came back. It was a Tuesday afternoon, a gray, drizzly day that matched my mood. I was working from home, trying to finish a report for my job as a marketing consultant, when there was a knock at the door. I opened it, and there she was, Vanessa, my sister, the woman who had walked out of my life and left her children behind. She looked older, thinner, more tired. Her eyes were haunted, her hair was streaked with gray, and her clothes were shabby and worn. She looked like she had been through hell, and maybe she had. "Clara," she said, her voice barely a whisper, "I'm back." I stared at her, my heart pounding, my mind racing. 1,000 emotions flooded through me. Anger, hurt, relief, confusion. I didn't know what to feel. I didn't know what to say. "Vanessa," I said, my voice cold, "what are you doing here?" She looked at me, her eyes filling with tears. "I need to see them," she said. "I need to see my children." My blood ran cold. "Your children," I repeated, my voice rising. "You left them, Vanessa. You left them with me and disappeared. You didn't call. You didn't write. You didn't even send a birthday card for 12 years. And now you want to see them." "I know," she said, her voice breaking. "I know I made a mistake, a terrible, unforgivable mistake. But I'm their mother, Clara. They're my children. I have a right to see them." I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. "You have a right. You gave up that right when you walked out the door. You gave up that right when you left them with me and never came back." "I was young," she said, her voice desperate. "I was scared. I didn't know what I was doing, but I've changed. I've gotten my life together. I want to be a part of their lives again. Please, Clara, please let me see them." I shook my head, my heart aching. "I can't do that," I said. "I can't let you waltz back in and disrupt their lives. They've been through enough. They don't need this." "Please," she begged, falling to her knees. "I'm begging you, just let me see them, just once." I looked at her, this woman who had been my sister, who had been my hero, who had been my enemy, and I felt a wave of conflicting emotions. I wanted to help her. I wanted to hate her. I wanted to protect the children. I wanted to protect myself. "Let me think about it," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "I need time to think about it." She nodded, her face streaked with tears. "Thank you," she said. "Thank you." I closed the door and leaned against it, my heart racing, my hands shaking. I had no idea what to do. I had no idea how to tell the children that their mother was back. I had no idea how to protect them from the pain that was surely coming. The next few weeks were a nightmare. Vanessa called me every day, begging to see the children. I told her I needed time, that I wasn't ready, that I didn't know how to handle this. But she wouldn't stop. She wouldn't give up. And then the letter came. It was a thick envelope, stamped with the seal of a law firm. I opened it with trembling hands, my heart pounding in my chest. It was a lawsuit. Vanessa was suing me for custody of her children. I stared at the letter, my mind reeling. She was suing me. After 12 years of silence, after 12 years of abandonment, she was suing me for the children she had left behind. I felt a wave of fury wash over me. How dare she? How dare she come back after all this time and try to take them away? I had raised them. I had loved them. I had sacrificed everything for them, and she had done nothing. She was nothing. I called a lawyer, a friend of a friend, a woman named Sarah who specialized in family law. She listened to my story, her face grim, her eyes filled with sympathy. "This is going to be a difficult case," she said. "Legally, she is their mother. She has a right to seek custody. But given the circumstances, I think we have a good chance of winning. You've been their primary caregiver for 12 years. You have a strong case." "I don't care about the case," I said, my voice shaking. "I just want to protect my children. They don't deserve this. They don't deserve to be dragged through a custody battle." "I know," Sarah said, her voice soft. "But we have to fight for them, for you. We have to fight." The next few months were a blur of court appearances, legal documents, and sleepless nights. The children knew something was wrong. They could see it in my eyes, hear it in my voice. But I didn't tell them. I couldn't. I didn't want to burden them with this. Ethan, who was 19 now and in college, was the first to figure it out. He cornered me in the kitchen one night, his eyes filled with anger and hurt. "Mom," he said, his voice sharp, "what's going on? Why are you so stressed? Why is there a lawyer calling the house?" I looked at him, this young man who had become my son, and I felt tears prick at the back of my eyes. "Ethan," I said, my voice barely a whisper, "there's something I need to tell you." I told him everything, about Vanessa, about the lawsuit, about the custody battle. I watched his face go from shock to anger to heartbreak. "She's suing you," he said, his voice shaking. "After everything you've done, after she abandoned us." "I know," I said. "I know it's unfair, but we have to fight. We have to fight for our family." He nodded, his jaw set with determination. "We will," he said. "We're not going to let her win. She's not going to take us away from you." Mia and Oliver took it harder. Mia was 17, a quiet, sensitive girl who had always been close to her mother, even though she barely remembered her. She had always harbored a secret hope that Vanessa would come back, that they would be a family again. The news shattered her. "She's coming back?" she asked, her voice trembling. "She wants to see us." "Yes," I said, my voice gentle. "But she wants more than that. She wants to take you away from me." Mia's face crumpled. "I don't want to go," she said, her voice breaking. "I want to stay with you. You're my mom. You've always been my mom." I held her, my own tears falling freely. "I know, baby," I said. "I know, and I'm going to fight for you. I'm never going to let you go." Oliver, who was 15, was angry, furious. He had always been the most sensitive of the three, the one who felt things deeply and expressed them passionately. "How dare she?" he shouted, his face red with rage. "How dare she come back after all this time and try to take us away? She's not our mother. She's nothing. You're our mother. You're the only mother we've ever known." I pulled him into a hug, holding him tight. "I know," I said. "I know, and I'm never going to let her take you away from me." The custody battle was brutal. Vanessa's lawyer painted me as a manipulative, controlling woman who had stolen her children from her. They claimed that I had brainwashed them, turned them against their mother, and that I was unfit to raise them. But we fought back. We told our story. The children testified, telling the judge about the years of love and sacrifice, about the mother who had been there for them, the mother who had never given up on them. "She's my mom," Ethan said, his voice steady and strong. "Not the woman who gave birth to me. Clara is my mom. She's always been my mom, and I will never, ever call anyone else that." Mia testified through tears, her voice shaking. "I used to dream that my birth mother would come back," she said. "But now I know that she was never really my mother. Clara is my mother. She's the one who raised me, who loved me, who never gave up on me. She's my mom." Oliver was the most passionate. She abandoned us, he said, his voice fierce. She left us with Clara and never looked back. Clara was the one who stayed. Clara was the one who loved us. Clara is the only mother we need. The judge listened, her face impassive, and then she spoke. After reviewing the evidence and hearing the testimonies, she said, her voice firm, I find that it is in the best interests of the children to remain in the custody of Clara Miller. The birth mother, Vanessa Hart, has failed to demonstrate that she is a fit parent or that she has the best interests of the children at heart. Custody is denied. I felt a wave of relief wash over me, so powerful that I nearly collapsed. We had won. We had fought for our family and we had won. Vanessa was furious. She stormed out of the courtroom, her face twisted with rage. She didn't look at me. She didn't look at the children. She just walked away, and I knew in my heart that I would never see her again. The children ran to me, wrapping their arms around me, their tears mingling with mine. We won, Ethan whispered. We won. Yes, I said, my voice choked with emotion. We won, and I'm never going to let you go. Years passed. The children grew up, graduated from college, found careers, got married, had children of their own. I was there for all of it. Every wedding, every birth, every milestone. I was their mother and they were my children. And Vanessa, I never saw her again. I heard rumors once in a while. She had moved to another state, remarried, had another child. But I didn't care. She had made her choice and I had made mine. I looked at my family, my beautiful, chaotic, imperfect family, and I felt a love so profound, so all-consuming that it almost hurt. I love you, I whispered. I love you all so much. Ethan smiled, his eyes shining with tears. We love you too, Mom. We love you more than you'll ever know. Mia nodded, her hand on her pregnant belly. You're the best thing that ever happened to us, she said. You saved us. Oliver wrapped his arm around me, pulling me close. You didn't just save us, he said. You made us. You made us who we are. I smiled, my heart full. I had been a young woman, alone and scared, thrust into a role I never asked for. But I had risen to the challenge. I had become a mother. I had become their mother. And I was never going to let them go. But the story doesn't end there, because life, as I had learned, was never that simple. There were still twists and turns, unexpected challenges, moments of joy and pain. One day when I was in my 50s, I received a letter. It was from Vanessa. She was dying. She had been diagnosed with a terminal illness and she wanted to see me one last time. She wanted to apologize. She wanted to make things right. I didn't know what to do. I was angry, still so angry, but I was also curious. I needed to know why. Why had she left? Why had she abandoned her children? Why had she come back and tried to destroy our family? I decided to go see her. I flew to the small town where she lived, a sad, run-down place that felt like the end of the road. She was in a hospice, a small, sterile room filled with the smell of antiseptic and death. She looked terrible. Her skin was gray, her hair was thin, her eyes were sunken. She was a shadow of the woman she had once been. Clara, she said, her voice weak, thank you for coming. I sat down beside her, my heart pounding. Why did you do it, Vanessa? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. Why did you leave them? Why did you come back and try to take them away? She looked at me, her eyes filled with tears. I was scared, she said. I was so scared. I had no idea how to be a mother. I was young and stupid and selfish. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought they would be better off without me. Better off, I said, my voice shaking. They were broken, Vanessa. They were so broken. I had to put the pieces back together. I know, she said, her voice breaking. I know, and I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for everything. I'm sorry for leaving them. I'm sorry for abandoning you. I'm sorry for trying to take them away. I looked at her, this woman who had been my sister, my enemy, my pain, and I felt a strange sense of peace wash over me. I forgive you, I said, my voice soft. I forgive you for everything. She looked at me, her eyes wide with surprise. "You do?" she asked. "Even after everything I did?" "Yes," I said, "because holding on to that anger was destroying me. I need to let it go. I need to move on." She reached out and took my hand, her grip weak and trembling. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you, Clara." I stayed with her until she died. I held her hand, watching her slip away, feeling a strange sense of closure. And when she was gone, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. I was free. Finally, truly free. I flew home, my heart heavy but my spirit light. The children were waiting for me at the airport, their eyes filled with worry. "Are you okay, Mom?" Ethan asked, pulling me into a hug. "I'm fine," I said, my voice thick with emotion. "I'm better than fine. I'm finally at peace." We went home, to the house that had been our home for so many years. And as I looked at my children, my beautiful, wonderful children, I realized that I had everything I had ever needed. I had loved them, I had raised them, I had fought for them, and in the end I had won. Not just the custody battle, but the battle for their hearts, their souls, their futures. I was their mother, and they were my children. And I was never going to let them go.